I just got back from a 2-week vacation where I took my family to Japan. We visited Tokyo, Kyoto, Hiroshima, and a little village called Fukusaki filled with yokai. It was a ton of fun, and we all really enjoyed it. While I was there, I went to a whole bunch of retro video game stores, and I picked up an absurd amount of video games. This is part 1 of my Japan retro video game pickups.
Getsu Fūma Den for the Famicom. So, Getsu Fūma Den was a Japanese exclusive for the Famicom that came out in 1987, and it's utterly fascinating. In it, you play as Fuma, a samurai tasked with recovering 3 magic swords that have been stolen from his clan. You will traverse a non-linear overworld map and enter into 2D side-scrolling platforming sections in order to proceed. In many ways, it's similar to early Metroidvania games like Castlevania II Simon's Quest, in that your path is frequently blocked by locked doors and passageways, requiring you to obtain a key or a special skill in order to pass. I honestly don't know why Konami didn't bring this out west, because it's a really great game and would have fit in with our Western roster very well. The game did see a sequel come out recently for the Nintendo Switch and PC, which takes the formula and adds a roguelike progression. Dragon Buster for the Famicom. Dragon Buster was an arcade game released in 1984. It was a side-scrolling dungeon crawler, where the player controls a knight named Clovis to rescue a princess being held captive. It's pretty typical Save the Princess fare, but it was a pretty fun arcade game nonetheless. It was ported to a variety of systems in the 1980s, all exclusive to Japan. I picked up the Famicom version. Graphically, it's very faithful to the original arcade, which is kind of to its detriment because the Famicom was more capable than this game might lead you to believe. While it's ultimately a pretty fun game, unfortunately its controls are fairly clunky, and it is made more difficult than it should be. The controls reflect the period when the game came out. It was a very early side-scrolling platformer, realized before the conventions we'd come to see in platformers were really finalized. The end result is that jumping can be imprecise and your attacks feel floaty. All that being said, it's an enjoyable game from early video game history. Moai-kun for the Famicom. Moai-kun is a puzzle platformer where you play as a Moai, one of those big stone heads on Easter Island, trying to rescue other Moai. That's it. That's what the game is. Okay, maybe there's more to it. The game is technically a spin-off from the Gradius games, but honestly, unless you're extremely well versed in the Gradius universe, you'd be forgiven for not seeing the connection. Each level is presented as a single-screen platforming puzzle, where you must manipulate objects and break blocks to both rescue the Moai in the stage, and also allow yourself to escape. This was an exclusive to Japan, though I really don't understand why. Other than the title screen, the entire game is in English, so it could have been brought out west with minimal effort. But it's a great little game, and I'm super happy to add it to my collection. Samurai Pizza Cats for the Famicom. Okay, so technically this game is called Kyatto Ninden Teyandee, but that title I'm likely to butcher, so I'll just call it by the name that the franchise got out west, Samurai Pizza Cats. Samurai Pizza Cats was a cartoon that came out in the 1990s. This game was based upon the original Japanese cartoon and was never brought out west. I have to be honest, I have no idea what the story is in this game. It's got a lot of Japanese text-heavy cutscenes with over-the-top animations, and I simply cannot follow it. There is a fan translation that I could patch in if I wanted to play it on my Polymega, but I haven't done that yet. Maybe someday I will, maybe I won't. Truthfully, the story doesn't seem to really matter, as each level is fairly linear, and the story is only important in that it might give context to what's happening. The game very much plays like a Mega Man title, albeit not as difficult. You move from stage to stage, taking out enemies and defeating bosses. You control one of 3 main characters, each with different attacks and skills, and you can swap in and play as one of several support characters, which provide special abilities which can be used to break walls and remove other obstacles. The game is a blast, and was one that I was really hoping to find in Japan. Fortunately I did, but it took a while, and I had to search through many stores. I literally found this game the day before we left Japan.